Look at this. I got headphones on. I got a mic going. Baby.
If
Huh?
only people could see you now.
Hey, no video. We've gone through this before.
All
No video.
right. Welcome to This Commerce Life. This is a podcast aimed at small, medium entrepreneurs focused on commerce. I'm Phil, your host, and Kenny, your co-host, will join us as well. And we're going to talk to you about the world of retail and commerce and how things are changing in the world.
Okay. Honestly, yeah, you may have to edit that white space there for.
Yeah. I was laughing to myself going upstairs, thinking Tazz is going to show up, and like both of us idiots won't be here. So.
Well, I looked at my screen. I thought, oh shit, my battery's going to die.
Yeah.
Anyway. It's all good. What's going on?
Man. What's going on? You and I talked about it this morning, but I guess for the audience, just, running into brands where I know I can help them, but it's almost like they don't know what they need in terms of help. So there's some of that stuff going on right now. Like a lot of brands, I talk about brand plans a lot and like how you got to know what your brand is and how to talk about it. And so a couple of times this week, I've presented plans where I've said, I'll help you put the tools in play that you need to build your brand. But, sometimes they don't know what they don't know. Right. And they don't know what they need. And so having a few of those moments this week. They're looking for marketing help, but I don't think they know what marketing is. So,
I think we were talking this morning. I think that's a common challenge with a lot of the small business. And what happens, people like us might go into situations and they want help.
Yeah.
But it's hard because the first thing you ask is, what do you want to do?
Yeah.
And the answers are always very high, pie in the sky. Well,
yeah.
I want to.
Yeah. I want marketing.
I need marketing. Okay.
Yeah.
You know what? I want to go into retail.
Yeah.
All right.
That's great. Yeah.
That's awesome. Yeah. I'm assuming that's what sort of the plan for most people is that are talking to us.
Yeah.
So you're trying to get a little more clarity. What exactly does that mean? What retail? What marketing? Like, what is marketing to you?
Yeah.
Marketing Facebook and Instagram? Because those are just social platforms.
No, just social platforms. Yeah.
They're part of marketing.
Yeah.
Or can be a part of a marketing plan.
Yeah.
But what do you want to do?
Yeah.
Like you got to give us more than that. You want to go into retail. Okay. What retail? Yeah. All retail? Some retail? No retail?
Speaking of retail, we have one of my favorite retailers on. Tazz Latifi, you are on mute, but while you're so you can't.
There you go.
Access Zoom for the life of me.
You know what? I feel okay because typically that's my problem. I'm the one that's late because I can't find the address to type in. I can't find the invite. I can't find chords. So I feel pretty good tonight.
Link is right there. Hi, Kenny. I'm Tazz. How are you?
Hi, Tazz. Very well. How are you?
Good. Nice to meet you.
You as well. You made me look good tonight. I was on time. I'm usually the last one in.
I'm really excited. Like, two of my favorite people are on this show. This is like
I only see Tazz. Who's the other one?
Oh, Kenny, don't be like that. we have a special treat. We have Tazz Latifi on. She runs Petropolis. A couple of big things there. One is he was brave enough to brave the Eastern Seaboard time of 11 p.m.
Yeah, sorry about that. We could have done it earlier.
You know what? I asked Tazz, and Tazz didn't even miss a beat. She was like,
"Okay,
this is like the beginning of the night. I am good, right?" So he was like,
"I'm a New Yorker."
I love it.
I guess that's true too. You guys are a different breed. You can do it.
We are a different breed. I don't know if it's a good breed, but we are a different breed.
I think for the most part, it's a very good breed.
Yeah,
there are times I would question it a little bit, but for the most part, I think it's a very, very good breed of people.
Yeah.
Okay, I'll take it from you, Kenny.
I think so. I think as a Canadians, we like people like I'm from the West Coast. I'm from Vancouver. We would actually probably prefer New Yorkers to Torontonians. So quite frankly, you're ahead on this show. Not with Phil, of course, because
Oh,
Phil's from Mississauga. It's a little town.
I just named you one of my favorite people.
I just don't believe you. I think you're
Oh
just,
my God.
I just don't believe you.
Listen. It's
Okay,
lofty to
okay.
put you in the same category as Tazz. Like, you should just take that.
I know. I'm taking it and running.
Man,
Running.
I'm really excited now. What am
So-
I doing here?
So we're excited because Tazz runs Petropolis in New York City, as you heard. She is a hardcore New York retail in her own right. Runs a great store, I guess I've known you a whole bunch of years now.
Yeah.
Tazz and I have hung out on a bunch of panels together. We've We've actually done a bunch of podcasts, right? Because we did them with Anthony Benny and his group of friends, right?
That's right. One of
So,
the global
yeah.
events.
Yeah, so we've kind of done a bunch of things together and got to hang out a little.
You visited me in New York.
I did. We had a nice dinner in New York.
Yeah.
Nice.
So yeah. So pretty excited to have you on the show. So welcome.
Thank you.
Did you want to tell the audience about you and Petropolis a little bit?
Sure. So I own a retail store called Petropolis in New York City. Have had it for 15 years. I guess it's a holistic store. It's for 15 years ago, it was a very different store than what is out there now. There's more of us, kind of holistic, natural mindset of quality foods. But, I've learned a lot. I don't think I would do it the same if I was to start a retail store now. I also have a podcast called The Petropolis, which is really that industry, which Phil was on. It's about the pet industry, and in between I blend in information about health and wellness. But within that, there's always, you can't get away from the industry. Business is business.
Mm-hmm.
So it's a massive industry, and I keep saying massive. It's a huge industry, and I want to know everything about it, and I want to learn from the people that are in it, and what to do and what not to do. Really important what not to do is where I go. I love learning about people's failures, so I don't make the same mistakes.
Well, it's not a bad way to approach it.
It isn't. It's
No,
a great way
it's
to
all
approach
good.
it. Yeah.
That's what I'm doing right now, and hopefully getting out of retail soon. Life needs to evolve. I need to recreate myself.
Yeah.
I'm
Well,
in the process of that.
Okay, that'll be
15
interesting.
years
Little
in
chit
retail.
chat. So
Yeah.
you've been in this location for 15 years as well? Like
Yeah.
you've been,
Yeah.
you're like right downtown.
I'm in the financial
Like you're in a financial district.
Yeah.
A pet store.
Pet store. But I gotta tell you, I think my biggest mistake was my location. I was too eager 15 years ago. I wanted to get out of the corporate world. I was too eager, and I went and looked at 5 spots, and I picked one.
Mhm.
Who the hell does
Yeah.
that? So I did that. But I made it work. It was a bit of a struggle. I mean, there were no pet businesses in that area at that time, 15 years ago, 2005. So yeah, my biggest mistake was not being in an area with more foot traffic. Other than that, if I was just 2 blocks away, I think my business would have taken a different trajectory.
I just found it interesting. I looked at them. I was thinking Washington. Thinking, I don't think there's a Washington by the park. So I remember Washington. When I looked at the map, I thought, wow, you're not in the village. Like you're downtown.
Yeah.
Like you're by the bowl. Like you're right downtown.
I'm deep down.
Yeah, I just find that a very interesting place to park a pet store, like in the heart of sort of Wall Street. I mean, that's
exactly the area I'm in. And interestingly,
Yeah.
we have a big doggy daycare, Biscuits and Bath, just opened up a couple of months ago, 2 blocks away from me.
I mean, if you got a lot of people, I guess, working in the offices, need something for the daytime to watch watch their pets.
In 2005, we didn't have the residential there weren't as many residential buildings as there are now. So there's
Right.
more residents, a lot of businesses, a lot of
Yeah.
restaurants. It's really developed over time. So, and that's why the last couple of years have been wonderful. And now COVID, everything went back downhill. So up, down, up, down. What do you do? That's how
That one's, that's the pandemic that we all went through that mess.
just life.
But to stay there 15 years, you've done obviously some things right. So I'm dying to hear how the
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know what that is. I don't know, Phil. Go ahead, ask me. I don't know. I take it a day at a time.
I think one of the things that your reputation includes is a really superior knowledge of product. Kenny, Tazz is known for being able to have a very fine eye, right, for the right product.
Right.
It's funny, when you were jumping on Tazz, we were just talking about brand plans and how a lot of brands they need them, but they don't know what brand plans are. And I feel like for you and Petropolis, that was one of the things that you figured out quick, right? Like, your guiding star and what was important to you, right? Because that, it's kind of the first thing you learn about Petropolis is what, kind of your laser focus on the products that you carry and why.
Yeah. And the sourcing is key for me. Product balance is important. You have to have some of the stuff that you find in every store to bring the customers in. Otherwise, you can't guide them. But then when you do bring them in, you have to be able to have the conversation to get them to understand where to transition to. And especially when they're coming because their pets are sick. It's not always, they're not coming in just to buy another bag of food. They as you said, Kenny, I'm down there somewhere in the holes of the city. So, they're showing up if they're coming in from another area in the city to ask a question, to get something different than what they're currently getting because there's something wrong. So that's become my niche market. It's the people that really need guidance and help with food. So I have a license in animal nutrition. I don't know what that means. It was an online course, and
Sounds good.
It sounded good. Yeah, it was supposed to take 2 years. I got it done in 9 months, and I learn about brands and sourcing and what they do and what they're about, and the values that they can bring to the animal. And those are the things that I bring in. But I still carry a lot of the more generic stuff as well because I have to get the customers in. So I find that balance, and what keeps me going is the higher quality, better quality brands. And I think retailers in the pet side have such power to take brands to a different level. They just don't know how to do it. I think retailers are missing the point in partnering with brands and working with them to develop them. I think there could be a lot of great partnerships that could happen. And I don't know what it is. I mean, Phil, you know the industry really well. There's so many egos. It's like, come on, let's do things together. What's up with the ego?
Okay, easy there, cowboy. You don't want to start getting people working together now. Take it easy. Don't go crazy on me. Don't go crazy. But you know what it is? I guess I'm starting to understand from your personality. I know why I would go to you. So I can see why you've done quite well in that part of town. Plus, I'm also going, because I'm cheating, I'm going through the webpage and looking. You don't read like a store. See, if I had a pet, and I'd go with you because you're doing a lot of cool stuff. Like they got the podcast, you're doing consulting. Like it just feels different. I think what you're saying is, how people have a funny way of doing retail. Most retailers, we know what they do is they put product on the shelf. They wait for people to come in. It transacts. They go home, and hopefully you repeat. Right? That's boring retail. Retail of, if I can come in and say, Tazz, my cat, I don't know, it's not pooping right, or whatever it is it the food or something to that effect? Like I feel, just even reading your webpage, and now that I've met you for the whole 10 minutes here, I'd be thinking, shit, I'd go to her.
Yeah.
Like I'd go talk to her. She knows what she's talking about. Even if she doesn't, I'm convinced she knows what she's talking about. Plus the fact that she's downtown in New York in the financial district, which is nuts to me. I definitely would go to her because she's got to be good to be making it go down there. That's crazy.
I am good.
I would just for the short. I'm going to give you that. I think you probably are very, very good.
Do you know how good she is? The first time I met Tazz, I was sitting there. You know, we were on this
Panel.
Yeah, we were on this panel. You know, people were gonna new brands were gonna bring us product and everything. And she came in and she was just like, she was so angry because yes, you were. You were angry because we were the pet industry was in the middle of one of these moments where we had. I think it was. You know what? I think it was Blue Buffalo.
Oh, the announcement that was Smuckers and Blue.
Yeah, and I think it was like people were just starting to realize hey, Blue Buffalo isn't what they say they were. You know, they were putting all this shit in their product, and Tazz came in going, I've been telling them there's bullshit in this product. There's shit in this product. I'm gonna get on this TV show, and I was like, hi.
Yeah, don't get in that girl's way.
I saved you a seat. You know.
Yeah, please sit beside me. Please don't hurt me. I won't say anything stupid, I promise. I hate Blue Buffalo too. I've always hated him. Terrible.
It's not that I hate anybody. It's just that I was angry because people believe the bullshit that marketers put out there. Phil, there's nothing wrong with marketing when a story is being told with
if it's truthfully told.
There has to be authenticity. Yeah. And that's what, when you take brands like Blue Buffalo, they give you a line of shit. And with pets, they don't talk. Right. We have to see the results, but we don't see problems until they're 6, 7, 8 years old. And they've been eating the same food for 6, 7, 8 years. Are you kidding? Of course you're going to have problems with any food that's being consumed consistently in the same way. But don't put out false information because you just want to sell products. I just, you have a story, you have a real story, tell that story. Yeah. Be authentic. And this is where I get that's where I was frustrated because I knew it was a lot, bunch of shit. And people are all agitated. Like, of course it's going to go into Target. Of course it's going to go into supermarket. What do you expect?
Yeah.
So what would agitate me? You know what agitated me more with that though? What would agitate me? It would be the industry that promotes it. I can get mad at the manufacturer because you know what? Any line of bullshit a manufacturer wants to throw at them, they can do whatever they want. Mm-hmm. But it takes a group of experts to back it. You guys, mm-hmm. I'm going to not you, Tazz specifically, but your industry, your level of expertise. You guys backed it. You recommended it to people.
Absolutely.
It wasn't the manufacturer. Yeah. They can only go so far. Yeah. So when you start looking at it, what the hell am I coming to you guys for help? It'd be like going to a drugstore. The reason you go to drugstores is because pharmacists are trusted. Why? Because they're supposed to help you. It's my health. If it's a pet, well, it's my pet's health. I'd expect you guys to, it'd be like saying to you, listen, a dog is 7 years for a dog. 7-year-old dog, eat your dog. That's 56 years. That's like me eating McDonald's every day for 56 years. What do you think's going to happen to me? And now how am I going to fix 56 years of damage?
Oh, most pet owners want an immediate result by change of food. And it just doesn't work that way.
It doesn't work with people.
Exactly. But they don't see that. They don't see that. And the problem with a lot of these companies is they keep, it's about making money. And fine, we all want to make money. I understand that. But it's false information.
No, I agree.
Retailers, this is where we have so much power in retail. We can, sorry, this one just came up and sat on me.
That's okay. She's cute.
So, we have so much power as retailers to really make an impact with what we promote and the knowledge we have. But in pet, it just seems like there are a bunch of bodegas. And the ones that are out there that are doing it, do it to a very limited scale because the goal is to get the margins and keep the business going.
Yeah.
But you can still...
But one doesn't negate the other or necessarily have to compete with the other.
But some feel that it does. Some feel that you have to catch margins. You have to get margins. Otherwise, you're not going to keep the customers coming in. I carried
Yeah.
a crappy food, but I had to get those customers in. I didn't carry blue, but I carried some of the lower end foods that were popular for the allergic animals because I had to get those customers in to get them in the right place. But
Mhm.
that
How else do I learn if I don't come in for the not
Yeah.
so good? And you're the expert. Help me. That's your job. See, but that again, that's not the difference. Is one is not a retailer. One is a key holder who has shelving and stuff on it,
Mhm.
and it could be any shit at that point. What's the difference? Well, you may just sell milk. And I don't really care what you sell at that point, because if you want margins or traffic, we'll put anything out there. Because to me, a pet store, and we talked about this, Phil, last time in Orlando with the pet owners or the pet shop owners, is you're the experts. People come to you not to buy necessarily a brand. They come to you to see what you think. Tazz, my cat's not feeling good. What do you think?
Mhm.
How would you look at
Yeah.
this? You're the expert. At that point, you can sell me whatever you damn well please, and I'd probably buy it. I mean, because I have to trust you. I mean, I want you to tell me the straight goods, but I'll buy, because what am I going to do? It's my pet. I mean, I don't want my pet to be sick or
and
not healthy. That's silly.
But most pet stores don't read like mine, like you said. They don't, because they're there to accommodate everybody. That's a huge part of it. They want to accommodate they want to be everything to everybody. And honestly, you got to figure out who you are.
Yeah.
Part of it is the reason why I did it was to really educate. What I love is education. I hate retail. I cannot stand retail. I think it sucks. I don't want to look over employees. I don't want to have to train employees. And if I didn't do that, I wouldn't have lasted 15 years. If my staff couldn't repeat everything that I said, and what I said to a customer, my staff would have to be able to explain it the same way I do. Maybe not to the same detail, but for 60 to 70% of the conversation should be redundant.
Mhm.
They heard it from me daily for 3 months before they could actually get out there and start selling. So training is a huge part of it. Most stores don't do that. Most pet stores don't do that training. It's all on the surface.
Right.
And the manufacturers, I shouldn't say that. I think it's part of the problem is distributors come in, they give list of what's on special, or the manufacturers come in and they have their best sellers, and that's what's talked about.
Yeah.
Not
Hey,
necessarily
there's nothing necessarily wrong with that. There really isn't.
absolutely
You
not.
are the owner of the store, though. You sign the checks. You write the POs. What do you want to talk about? It's your store.
Yep. That's
Right?
why
I mean, that's the path they chose.
And I don't know how successful I was financially. I don't think I made ends meet, but it wasn't the best financial move I made having retail. That's why I did the consulting. I make money doing the consulting
Right.
and the teaching. That's where my love is actually. So
Yeah, but the retail brings those people in too, right?
yeah, the retail actually brings the consulting clients in.
Mhm.
The food
So why do you want to build from the retail side then?
I'm done with it. Come on, 15 years. How
Listen,
long
I
do
wouldn't
you
go back
stay
into retail
there?
myself, so you're not going to get any. My job is to ask some questions, because otherwise Phil asks all the smart questions. Okay, I got to look like, I'm with you. I don't want to go. You think I want to go back into retail? I did years of retail. Customers yelling this and that. Forget retail. I don't want to be in retail either. That's why I do what I do. But you got a chance to actually help a lot of people, because your skill set lends very well to it. And the hard part, well, not now, because you're probably well known, but it's hard to consult and teach if nobody knows who the hell you are.
Right. Exactly.
Right. Your retail store probably brought a lot of people in to give you that chance.
It did. And also word of mouth brought a lot of people to me. I have clients all over California. I have clients all over Colorado. They've never been to my retail store. So,
How do they find you?
Word of mouth, somebody who was in my store who got help. So yes, it always goes back to that storefront. It does. So I have to figure out another way to market myself in my next phase.
Yeah.
What's the consulting business?
What?
Maybe tell the audience what your
Define.
consulting
Yeah. What do you do?
business is.
What's the consultant side of this?
Yeah.
I teach pet owners how to feed their pets. Usually the pet owners come to me when the animal's sick and they've tried everything. They've tried all the prescription. They've tried everything they've read online about how to do raw or make their own raw or do their own cooking. So it's everything they've tried. And then I'm the last person they come to. And I use what's out on the shelves in the market and guide them on how to use it and add some supplements where needed. I usually take more away than I add because they're overdoing it. They're just being excessive with their poor animals. So, I modify diets. I work with a lot of diabetic animals because most people have, for some reason, the vets don't give them enough information on how to feed a diabetic animal other than a prescription diet. And the animal keeps getting more and more obese. They get sicker and sicker, and the blood sugars are never stabilized. So, when I take them off the prescription and put them on some quality store-bought foods that they can get anywhere, they can even get on Chewy's, they're shocked. And I teach them how to do the blood sugars. I teach them how to, work with their vet and get the animal stable. And it's a collaborative effort. We work together. And usually it's about 3 to 4 sessions with me, and then they're done. Then they could do follow-ups every year if they think they need it. But that's part of it. And the other part, I work with some brands. And what do I do with brands? I connect them to the consumer. Because they're kind of disconnected from the
total
consumer.
sense.
Yeah.
They're disconnected from the consumer. They
almost
don't
like that nice influencer in the middle.
Mm-hmm.
Do you live on the island? Are you in Manhattan or are you in one of the boroughs?
I'm in New York City. Yep. Right in the middle of the city.
Oh my gosh. Okay, so
that's fascinating.
So you're getting out of retail. Did
maybe.
You? No, I don't think it's a maybe. I think. Are you almost done? You're almost done, right? Yeah, you're almost done. Yeah. So if you're in New York City, you should get down to Petropolis.
When are you gone? When are you done?
Yeah.
This year is it. 2020.
That's it?
Yeah.
That's it.
Yeah.
Okay. And then you got to figure out any ideas yet, like about how you're going to connect with these folks. Like you've got a very, I think so. My opinion, being a new dog owner, is I think that the world is full of crap information on feeding your dog. The information on the back of the dog food bag is about as coherent as like reading an entirely different language. And God forbid that you should change bags or like you do that transition thing because the recommendations between bags and between brands is like gobbledygook. Like it's literally like if you don't know someone like Tazz, you basically go on YouTube and take your chances, right? It really.
Where do you find? How else do you do this? If you don't know,
channel, should I try that?
Well, if I don't know you, like how am I gotta find something. Like I'm in Vancouver, I gotta find somebody. I don't have a pet, but if I gotta run around the city, who's my task? Like I don't know. Like who do I find here?
Growly's in Vancouver. He's all raw. Growly's.
Okay.
Oh yeah.
Neil.
He's super cool.
Neil is great.
Oh Kenny. Yeah.
I don't have a pet. Remember, it's
then why am I? Yeah, forget it.
I mean, I can tell you there's a good butcher in town too. If you want, if you come to Vancouver, I'll take a nice Italian butcher down the street. But I can't tell you where to go to a pet store.
No, but it is like so I did that. I like my doggies on a vet recommended. When I adopted her. They said she's eating this, right? And then, I started reading, the neighbor across the street said, no, my dog is going grain free. We're going to go raw. And I said, why? Why did you go raw? And she said, I just read that it was better for you. And so I was like, all right, let's go down this path. So I started reading, and like everything's a big pile of crap, right? Because you start reading. Yeah, no.
Phone Tazz.
I haven't called Tazz yet because
listen. If I have people now asking me, I say I know Tazz.
I want to be able to do my homework, right? So I want to be able to do my homework to have an intelligent conversation. But I actually think that as I read, I'm getting
to make you more confused sometimes.
Yeah. I think
it's
I'm
like
getting
trying to learn medicine
as I'm reading, right?
Learn medicine on Google. Is that where you learn medicine?
No, but
it's the same thing. You start going on Google and stuff. You go down these rabbit holes. Who knows where people take?
But the gold standard is if you like. So I have 3 kids, right? So when I started with kids, I can go online and read enough to be able to form enough educated opinions to be able to then have a proper conversation with a nutritionist to say, I've started these steps, or I read this. This is my game plan. Tell me if this is the right way to go, right? And so for me, it was like, if I'm going to talk to Tazz, I need to try and get the most out of Tazz I can get, right? And so, but reading, I actually think I'm dumber now, and the gap is getting wider because I'm actually reading shit going, I think I'm dumber than I was before. Now I can't go to Tazz because Tazz is going to yell at me because I'm dumber than I was before. I should have just like.
I would have yelled at you too.
You know, like Tazz is super nice. She would never say, yeah, no, I don't think you would never say that. But
Tazz should have.
I would ask you a lot of questions.
Yeah.
She should have been your Google. That's what you should have Googled. You should have just Googled.
No,
I understand what you're doing. I get it. It's like when you seriously, if you have ailments, it's not a bad idea. Like we all do it. I go online. You want to see, okay, headache and eyes are sore. You start doing all that stuff. But you can go down paths that are very dangerous to go down.
Yeah.
And you end up being more dangerous than you. You're more dangerous with a little knowledge.
It's like the WebMD person, right?
You got to be cautious.
I mean, Kenny, it's very general. The information out there is generalized.
It has to be.
Barely general.
Barely general, right? And remember how much of it is coming from manufacturers,
exactly,
lovers, on and on. So for me, I will ask you questions about your dog, your lifestyle, what you're looking for, activity levels. We're combining everything together, and then we're going to come up with multiple food options for you because your dog's healthy and young. You can do a variety of things. You don't have to be stuck with one brand or one process. We can do a variety of things. And it doesn't have to be just raw. If you want to do some kibble, I can connect you with a product that is very low in carbohydrates, that's barely cooked, but it is a nugget, a kibble. Canadian company, no less.
I think you're supposed to do kibbles.
Well, there are some good stuff out there.
Okay. I didn't know that.
I'm not a fan.
Kibbles, it seemed to be frowned upon for.
Yeah, it just depends on what's right for you as a pet owner and the health of the pet.
Right.
And, I'm not going to demonize anything. First, I'm going to listen to you and what your needs are.
Right.
And then we're going to find out what the needs of the animal are, which are most important, but that's going to come last because that's going to connect the dots and get you the accurate information. And also, where do you shop? That's another thing. Where do you want to focus on shopping? Can we make some adjustments in your life? Some people are very rigid. Others are very open-minded. I just did a consultation with a woman who was 70 years old. The cat is a love of her life. And her vet said, your cat has lymphoma. And I said, well, how did you diagnose that? She said, oh, she didn't. Just because she's had irritable bowel for 2 years and she's vomiting, she's saying that she has lymphoma, but we really have to do a biopsy to find out. But it's very invasive. I said, okay, why don't we just make some diet changes? Because the diet that was recommended was the diet the cat couldn't keep down. She kept vomiting. So everything they tried, the cat kept vomiting. So we changed the diet. Cat's eating, not vomiting. We're on day 5. This woman's 75 years old, okay? She is not some young hipster, but she did her research. She's actually a doctor and a retired doctor. She knows her shit. So when I explained it to her, she said, okay, this all makes sense. Why didn't I connect that for my animal? Whereas where I would do it for myself or my kids or my grandkids. I didn't think of the value of food to this animal's well-being. So, some people just don't see it. And
I guess it seems logical, but
As you need to figure out how to be the base layer.
well, you know what I'm wondering.
Do an ad.
Are we trying to find Tazz work? Is that what we're?
Let's find me a new.
So
position.
you talked at the beginning. You don't understand why either brands don't partner with brands, or nobody's partnering with each other, and nobody's doing things together. So there's no other good pet shop in New York City that you could work with without having to work in retail?
Remember when I said ego? That's the problem. I will be happy.
Don't say there's none. There's 15 million people in that. There's got to be somebody.
So can I just put a caveat in here? Is I think that the pet industry is somewhere around 10 years behind kind of like packaged goods industry. So,
Totally.
So if you kind of think of the Krogers, the Loblaws, all these guys, and what they were like, 10 to 15 years ago, right? Like the buyer was king, all those sort of kind of old school things that don't exist anymore. The pet industry is kind of there right now. Like they're growing like crazy. It's, kind of, they have like I think it's like a 10 or 12% CAGR, like over 5 years or something like that. So they're growing a lot. They've got a lot of economic power. And so there's a lot of this. Like
it's one of the fastest growing segments of retail and CPG, no matter how you look at it. And it's also an industry, you and I, because we've done enough shows, it's mimicking what Expo was 25 years ago. It's changing very quickly. So there's got to be people out there that are the old Bristol Farms or Whole Foods or Sprouts of 15, 20 years ago in grocery that have to be coming up.
Moved over.
They have no choice. That industry is going to change. Not everybody wants to go to the Walmart of Pet, Petco or Pet Center, who the hell it is. Doesn't matter. Not everybody wants to do that, but not everybody wants to go to the little shop who doesn't help you and just has the same shit at them except more expensive. Well, there is a need for somebody in there to help me get what I want.
There is. And the claims are there. A lot of companies are claiming that they do good and they educate, but it's not on an individualized basis. They don't look at each individual customer and can address the animal's need, which can be done. You can train. I train my staff to do it. Mm-hmm. They can have the basics under their wing, but they have to have someone leading that path. And the problem is, they claim they have it, but it's still being led by the manufacturers and what the manufacturers want them to say. So there is a disconnect with getting that information out there to the consumer. The consumer needs to be incredibly wary of the information that they get at most pet stores.
But I think that's where you come in, right? I just need to get to you.
Yeah.
I don't need to go to a pet store.
How do we connect those dots for Tazz?
I guess I'm looking at it. You got a podcast.
Yeah.
That's one way, right? It's a blog. That's another way. The retail outlet to some degree is kind of nice, especially in a city like Manhattan or New York. It's so dense. Again, it could be not. What are your hours right now? Not forget COVID. Like, what are your hours at the pet store?
My hours when I was open before COVID were 9 hours a day.
Okay, and 7 days a week.
7 days a week. Yeah.
Okay, there's no law saying you have to do that. So you could go into either one of the boroughs or maybe in a lesser area. I mean, Manhattan's going to be tough, but a lesser area. You could do 10 till 2. You could do by appointment only. You could sell online. You don't have to have a store. You can do whatever you want. I mean, it's what's nice, I guess, a place for me to go is kind of that doctor naturopath feel. Potentially, you could have some food there for me to maybe pick up, or you could just direct me here. Tell me in my area a pet guy that you like, and I don't have to talk to them. You just tell me to go to them. You've already told me everything I need to know. I don't really need to talk to them. So if they're kind of useless, I don't really care. I'm not talking. I just need to go there, transact, and you've told me what to do. I'm good now.
So you're saying have a space where they can come and see me a few hours a day, whether it's
possible. That's a little old school because in today's world, their space could be anywhere. I mean, it doesn't have to be New York either. Let's say if you know a real great pet store in Miami, there's no reason you can't be in New York and push Miami all day. You don't have to be in Miami. I mean, the internet allows you to be anywhere. You're in New York,
That's
he's in Toronto,
true.
I'm in
That's
Vancouver.
true. And actually, there is some people that have asked me to join their team.
Well, again,
Yeah,
you're talking collaboration. There's no reason you couldn't collaborate with 50 pet stores in 50 states. You could come to Canada and do 10 provinces. You could have 60 locations that you are in essence, but never be there.
Sure, we could do Zoom calls all day long with them.
You can. I mean, this is not. I mean, we're doing it. I mean, you can do it in the States too. I mean, the doctor calls that we have in BC right now, because COVID was a problem. My mom and dad even signed up. You know, they're 70, 77 and 84. They signed up and they did. They saw the doctor online, and my mom just couldn't shut up about how great this woman was and how helpful, and on and on and on. I thought, come on. My mom's 77. She no problem went online, did it all.
Mm-hmm.
Right. So why wouldn't I go? I would rather talk to you this way from here in Vancouver and say, listen, tell me where to go, or just tell me online where to buy. I'll buy from you. I don't care. If I had a pet, I'd ship it, figure it out. Or no, I've got a guy in Vancouver. Just go to him. Beautiful. Thank you. That's all I need.
I have stores all over the U.S.
I'm sure you do.
I just sent a client to Colorado, a store in Colorado, to get the things.
I'm sure you
and
do.
the stuff they didn't have. I said, yeah, we got to get you online to buy some stuff. So yeah.
But that's your partnering, right? It's the same thing that you were saying. You don't have to partner with a brand. You can partner with an outlet.
Yeah.
Or push brands. Like you pick up maybe some brands you really like.
Oh, absolutely. And I'm already working with one. But as Phil said, everyone's so behind, unfortunately. So for me to go,
you have to push it. It's not going to happen on its own.
Absolutely.
The only reason natural products came into mass retail is because there was enough of us buyers who wanted to take a chance and took the chance and did it. It wasn't going to happen because the natural health industry says, oh my God, yeah, please grocers, you should take our products and sell them cheaper because that would be awesome. Like, oh my God, thank you so much. Hey, Walmart, here's some wicked pet stuff that you should never have, but take it, please. That doesn't happen in our industry either, but it did.
Show me the way to San Jose. Yeah.
There's lots of people that did it in our industry, Phil.
There's a neat play here too of train the trainer.
Absolutely.
Like derivative of what Kenny's talking about as well is the partnerships here is you have the ability. So like I take some of the so Kenny and I share some. This is going to come out wrong. We share some drug history. Right, so we both sold over-the-counter drugs. Okay,
that didn't sound any better.
That is.
Okay,
we both sold drugs.
No, over the counter. Like what counter?
But there is when you sell drugs for consumers, right? There's a certain amount of training that you got to be able to do, right? You need to be able to recognize actives. You need to know, you got
to talk the talk.
In Advil and Tylenol and cough, cold, flu. And once you train that, it never leaves you, right? And I feel like that is something I was actually trying to figure out where I learned that from, because I wondered if that's something that you could start to do, is to be able to say, just like in nutrition, right? Like in nutrition, you go, look, if it ends in ROSE, if it's dextrose, it's a sugar,
it's
right?
A sugar.
Like,
yep. Phil, how did I learn it? I hung out with the pharmacist.
So if you see ROSE in it, it's sugar, and you need to question if that one little 4-letter is in the back of the ingredient, and you flip on the front and it says no sugar added, kind of have to go, big pile of crap, put it back on the shelf.
Exactly.
Right? So I wonder if somewhere in there isn't a base level education that you can do where you're kind of known for. It's a bad example because I'm not sure I like the guy, but like a Dr. Oz sort of situation where you're kind of
definitely
right.
Not him.
So kind of like, but like a baseline, like, look, here's what to expect in nutrition. But I kind of see you, because you straddle both worlds, as being able to do that with consumers, and then also being able to teach some of these retailers, how to read this shit.
I'm thinking she could go down almost as a consultant side. You know what would be cool? If there was sort of the Tazz Petropolis school of pet food, and in every state, we'll stay in the state of America, all 50 states had one sort of Tazz franchisee, for lack of a better, who's the trainer in that. You know how like McKay works in tech? I think we were talking today, Phil, you and I, about McKay, like the different.
But that's a lot of work for Tazz. So yes,
It can
right.
It can be upfront. It can be upfront, but there's a way to get. If you can train people in areas to do or learn what she knows, so she's the guru sitting on top, like queen of the world.
The free state of Tazz.
Sort of the minions below.
Like it. Yeah.
Disseminating the information that makes sense, not attached to retail, not attached to a product line, attached to the knowledge and the proper things I need to know about food. Now, please help me if I ask you, hey, I understand we said this is Purina that. Oh my God, no, it's not Purina. It's ABC. Thank you. Where would I get that? Okay, you're from Arizona, or where are you in Scottsdale? Okay, in Scottsdale, I would recommend so and so and so.
Mm-hmm.
It doesn't have to be tied to anything per se, Phil. But I mean, it's almost like she's more of a school or an education center.
Yeah.
Because what's sellable? This is what I loved when I went into the webpage. I don't give a shit about the product so much. I love it when we go on and you see podcast, blog, consulting, because that's brains. The rest of it is what did I pay? What do I need to sell it for to make a margin?
Mm-hmm.
Important. Don't discount that. That's where the money comes from.
Yeah.
But that's a transaction. Consulting and walking me through why this is going to help my pet. Because what's going to probably happen, I'm going to phone you probably 10 times in the next 10 months, probably once a month, probably give you some update. Maybe there's an issue. Hey, yes, I can tell you about that. I'm probably going to do that.
Right.
And then you're probably stuck with me when the next pet comes, or I'm going to send you friends because, kind of like we do now, Phil. If I have a marketing issue, who do I send people to? I don't send them to me.
Yeah.
So I got a buddy in Toronto, phone Phil.
Yeah.
Right? You may not be able to help them, but you've got enough network people to move around. It might be that.
How do you monetize that process?
Well, you're a consultant. I have to pay to talk to you, don't I? Yes. Like you'll give me probably 15 minutes of sort of complimentary time, but if we start going, what's your hourly rate? Mm-hmm. I can do some research. I'm sure you've got recommendations and all that stuff. I mean, no different than I guess people monetize it now. The information is worth something. Well,
Phil, jump in here because on the pet side, everyone thinks everything should be free.
Who does though? The owners or the
stores?
All do. Yeah, but how much different
everybody, is that? Everybody wants free shit.
How much different is that on anything?
No. Really, it's really like it's bad. It's bad. It's
kind of disgusting, Kenny.
Yeah.
It really is.
Yeah. Like rewind 25 years in CPG. Like that's how bad.
But it changed. All it takes is someone just to say.
All I'm saying is that's where we are, right? So.
No, I get it. But that's a great place to be.
It is, and you know what?
You're due.
I have proven myself. Where I've taken a long time, but I've proven myself consistently over and over again where I can monetize on it. I can say, if you want to talk to me, even for 15 minutes, you got to schedule an appointment. And
sure. Here's what I charge.
For 15 minutes, if it's just a quick Q&A about food, I charge $30 and I only do it on Sundays. And that's just to get you to the next step. If you want more, you got to, do a full consult, and that's $300 for an hour. Sorry.
What do you prefer? Do you prefer working with a consumer, or do you prefer working with like brands and retailers?
I like both. I like all of them. I love all of them. The consumer keeps teaching me what's going on with their animals is what teaches me.
Right.
The retailers don't give me anything other than like this duh face. It's because they need to rush to get to the point where they're making money. They don't want to do the work in the middle. Retail doesn't want to do the work. They just want to get there. And that's a level of frustration. But there's, I guess, maybe there's a little bit of S&M in there for me. I could gnaw at them a little and fuck with them a little. And then, I'll be tortured by them because I really want to fix their issue. So that sadomasochism comes into play with retail. Brands, I love. I love the manufacturers. Most of them are lost because they don't know who they are. And the ones that do, I have unbelievable respect for, as long as they don't get lost.
Mm-hmm.
And after 15 years in being retail, you see how the brands evolve and where they go. And eventually, 90% of the brands are for sale. They evolve into, somebody else buys them out, or they just drop out because they don't want to be in that group.
Yeah.
Right.
But the ones that know who they are and are giving something or doing something that is going to make a difference, they're the ones that are willing to also put the money into it. It's not all talk. So often they think they can do it on their own without partnerships, or they can just do it using social media. I think that's where the collaboration would be important, getting a group of brands together who can work with one another, but they have different types of products.
That's doable. It's doable.
Yeah.
It's doable.
Yeah.
I was talking to a distributor, and he's got several brands that I could literally bring together, but he just doesn't pull the trigger. It's like, dude, pull your, lift your skirt up and see what's under there. And
yeah, he doesn't see it though. You know why? Because he's not looking at it.
Yeah, he doesn't see it.
The problem sometimes is if they can't monetize it quickly and attach a margin, they just don't get it.
Well,
but
that's
not
the
to say
problem
they
with
won't
distributors
do it.
too.
All of them, but that's not to say they won't do it. I mean, I watched that old industry evolve. I remember, Phil, going to the show. Nobody wanted to talk to me, right? I remember I used to tell you, I'd fucking beg for anybody to talk to me, to let me buy the product. Oh, we were the devil because we were on the mass side, and we were trying to bring natural fruits. So we were the devil incarnate. We knew it, right? But you chip away, and it's sooner or later it comes. And if you have an expertise and you can speak the language, you can make the changes. I think there's play in this. This is definitely worth an offline chit chat as well. I
would love it. I would love it.
I think I've kind of worked it out in my head, so I'll give it to you, and then we can take this offline.
Sure.
I think your core strength listening to you is your consumer base, and how well one you ingest information from them, and also how well you help them. So there's an element of like, how do we grow your consumer base in a way that's scalable, that allows you to me, I actually think that you take a left turn and step right out of pet, and you play in family spaces where you think of like Today's Parent, for example. We're in that space, right? Like all 5 of our family household are trying to be a pet parent right now. Do you know what I mean? Like, so everything she does, Sophie was outside today, ate all this grass and threw up, right? And so there were 5 pet parents, reading all these damn articles, trying to figure out, is it okay she threw up? Is it, like all these sort of things, right? So, right. So I think that your consumer base is your power. I think that's your superpower. I think that the way to translate this into a way to get where Kenny, and I think Kenny's right, is how you break the industry is to take a new age solution like affiliate links, and then that gets you to like your regional plays, your local plays where you can go, look, you know what, like to whatever store it is, right? You're going to give me an affiliate link. It doesn't cost you anything. So if I don't refer you business, it costs you nothing. But the tracker will tell you, hey, you know what? Tazz sent like 8 people this way. So you're going to pay me some commission, right? Like some percentage off the affiliate link. But more importantly is there's now data for you that says Tazz knows what the hell she's doing, right? Because she sent me like these wicked people who continue to buy from me. And now not only am I going to make sure that Tazz is a part of my ecosystem, but at some point I'm going to go, I need to know something more about the consumer that's coming to my store. Who should I call? Oh, well, Tazz sends me lots of people. She knows what's happening, right?
Consider I probably have her name on front of my dog food saying,
yep.
I have an expert named Tazz. If you need help, ask me.
Well, and I think that starts to perpetuate itself. And then that turns into something where retailers will start and go, who's this? Well, it's not, they're never going to say, who's this Tazz lady? Because they already know who you are. But now you have this power of like, I have consumers that I can do research with quick. So if you're Kreisers in the South and you're trying to figure out like, do I roll this out? Do I not do this? Like, what the hell do I do with it? maybe Tazz is a really quick phone call that I can go, hey, I have 3 questions. And if Tazz says, maybe, I'm probably not launching it. But if she says, holy shit, I've been talking to people about people like this is like off the charts. These are the first 3 things I answer at every call.
Mhm.
Prizers, I'm probably going to do it. So there's, you know, like, I think there's like this neat way to build that so that you start to get, do you know what I mean? Like it's a really interesting pivotal role. It's, I actually can't think of an example in the industry that does this now.
But that's the best part of it.
Yeah.
The industry is ripe for it. You've got people spending shit loads of money on their pets.
Yeah.
They're spending more on their pets than their
Yeah.
fucking children. The
Yeah.
money is there. They're ready. Who
And
gives
the
a shit if the
retailers
industry's
that are-
doing it or not?
The retailers that are claiming that they offer all this advice and direction, nutritional direction, that don't, like the Loyal Pets or like the
Mhm.
Kaisers, you know, that
Mm-hmm.
all of them, they're not really putting the information out there. They're still, you know, each location has its brands that they sell that are popular within the area. And it's because it has to meet certain margins or they're on special or whatever deals they have. So, you know, it's
Normal
almost
retail though, that's not going to change. That's part of it.
not going to change.
That's no big deal. That's whatever.
No, but if they see, you know, you can actually balance it. If I'm recommending clients to go there and say, buy this, this, and this store carries it, those sales are going to go up.
Well, you think?
Products, right?
And now
So
that
that
for
brand,
life. You're going to hang on to those people.
yeah.
People don't
You're gonna
change.
be like-
They trusted
Those
industry.
relationships are very
You're going to be
important.
like Oprah for pets.
That's
That's
how I
better.
see myself, actually.
Yeah, I like that one too.
When I visualize
That's pretty
it,
wicked.
Yeah.
when I visualize it, that's because I see every side. You know, I'm not
Yeah.
going to go fight the meat industry.
Yeah.
I'm going to connect with them and try.
You don't need to fight the meat industry. You should be
No.
working with them.
I want to work
You
Right
with
in the middle.
or
Yeah.
work with the ones that you like within that industry. Every
So when you
industry's got
become really
rock
famous,
stars.
remember that you were on the show. Okay, just send
Why,
us
where are
an
we going?
autograph
Hey,
picture.
easy. Hey, we haven't left the picture yet. Slow down. Slow down.
I'm gone. I
No,
see it now.
just
She's out of
relax.
here. I'm
I
surprised
see the
she's still on the
white
show.
No, we're going for the ride. Just don't.
I see, like, I expected by now a spinning chair and Tazz is gone, right? Like,
Just take it easy.
Not one of those. Sorry, I am.
I'm gonna go listen. I'm gonna listen to the
I love it, I
podcast
love
too.
it.
I'm dying to. I think that's what I feel like because I do listen to Oprah's podcast periodically because I do like some of the interviews she does.
I
with
love
some-
Oprah's podcast.
I do because I do. I mean, there's sometimes she's a little. Sometimes she's just Oprah.
yeah.
Too much Oprah. That's
Yeah.
okay too. But I do like her. I'm the Oprah of pet kind of thing here maybe.
Mhm. Yeah, and
Yeah.
that's where I want to go with the podcast. That's why I'm combining
That's what
industry
Yeah.
and consumer, and I want the consumer to understand what's going on with the industry because the industry is not going to evolve if the consumer doesn't understand it.
Yep.
And
Yep.
this
It
is why
worked.
I'm doing. Yeah,
It
we
worked
need
in
to-
natural health. It worked.
it works.
I'm telling you.
I know the consumer needs to be the consumer in the end is a driver, and retail will have to
Yeah.
take those steps because the consumer is demanding it.
Absolutely.
Why I'm interviewing the business segment of the pet industry because I want those people that are following me. Fine, I have 900 people on my email list. It's not a big email list, but honestly, it evolves.
Yeah,
and
it's a good
I
size.
It's going to grow. It's a good size.
So thank
Yeah.
you. Yeah, next is my email campaigns. I haven't even started that yet. So
Yay.
next week. woo, woo, woo.
Yay. Okay.
Once you close down the shop, you'll have more time.
Yeah, well, I'm half-assed there anyway, so I have time and I'm making it work.
Yeah.
I'm making it work. So.
I know this is quite interesting.
and you know, I wanna like what I do, and I stopped liking being in retail. I think my biggest problem on the retail side was dealing with people that weren't truthful. You know, when you
I
have,
get it.
yeah, and it's like, don't bullshit me. I mean, I see
Yeah.
it.
Yeah.
And
Don't
that
bullshit a
is
bullshitter.
enough.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
but you
I
get
get
that with employees. You get that, you know, employees that yes you to death and then will
Yeah.
do something else. So you get that no matter what part of retail you're in.
Yeah. Yeah.
So I think it's time for me to
It sounds like it's time for you to make a change. Obviously, you got to
I'm
try to
excited.
do something different. And so what? That's good.
But I like the Oprah of pet. I like that. Oh, or or the Joel Osteen or whatever. Give me something.
No, Oprah.
Preacher.
Gotta have, yeah. It's gotta have gravitas.
That's
Yeah,
awesome.
yeah.
Sounds
We are at our hour. Do you wanna tell people? I think it's important because I don't want anyone to drop off before they know where they can find you.
Yeah.
So you can find me at Petropolis.com, Petropolist.com. You could check out my podcast. You can even see my store. You don't have to come to the store. You can do a phone consult with me or a video chat with me. But it's Petropolis.com.
Very
Okay.
cool.
Yeah, we'll put the link in our show
Yeah.
notes as well. So make sure you check that out. And
Yeah.
Tazz Latifi, like an hour with you is just not enough time.
No, I could have spent a lot more. We may have to do that. We may have to do this some other
Yeah.
time.
Yeah.
That was good. It's interesting.
Yeah.
Thank you. Thank you guys so much
Yeah.
for having me.
Well, it's nice
When
meeting you.
you wind up shutting down the business,
Mhm.
I'd love for you to come on again, almost in a different light where we've talked about people making changes and adapting. I think one of the things coming out of this is like what could be a whole different episode is, what helped you figure out how to get out of the industry? Do you know what I mean? Like, and then what's entailed in, as you shut down, all the nuances that are involved in shutting down a business, I think don't you think, Kenny? Like, I think
Yeah,
that's
totally.
a whole different episode that we could
Totally.
do. That is that our listeners would be.
For a small business. Yeah.
Yeah.
Try to
I
take
love the
care out of it.
transition part. I love more than anything.
Yeah,
I love
yeah.
I love people who change directions or
Yeah.
Too. I'm excited about that. So thank
Should
you.
be.
for letting
Yay.
me
I
know
think
that.
it's gonna be pretty cool.
Okay, awesome.
Pretty cool.
Thank you for joining us.
That was
We
really
love
nice
it so
meeting you.
much.
Thank
Yeah.
you.
Love you guys.
Yeah.
Thanks
you
so
too. That
much.
was awesome, man. Thanks.
Don't forget to call me if you have a problem with Sophie, dude. Come
Oh,
on.
I'm calling because
Oh,
I'm getting
yeah,
dumber by the
whatever.
minute.
Keep
I'm
going
getting dumber
online.
by the minute. Don't worry.
Look,
I like.
I will not charge you because you invited me so much. I email him with questions about listeners.
Oh my god.
I have 800 listens. Holy shit. So, I get all excited.
It's amazing.
Huge.
Yeah, it's huge. It's huge. Yeah, it's
That's good
amazing.
for you. That's awesome.
Yay.
Thank
Thanks,
you guys.
Tazz. Okay.
Thanks, Tazz. It was nice
Take
meeting
care. Bye.
Ciao.
Bye.
Wow. That's good, Phil.
I know. So fantastic.
Yeah. Wow.
She's pretty cool. I like
A
her.
lot of
I like
energy.
her a lot.
I like her
Yeah.
too.
Yeah.
Yeah, I like her too.
Man.
There's
It's
definitely playing that just because it's what's between her ears
Yeah.
is the important part.
yeah.
The rest of it
Yeah,
doesn't matter. She's
Yeah.
very bright, and you could see that you would trust her.
Yeah. 100%. 100%. Yeah. It's amazing. What's going on with you? I was telling you about my stuff. What's going on with you?
I can't remember. I talked to you today about some stuff. I don't
Yeah.
remember what we talked about.
Yeah.
The day it kind of just went. It's right now the coffee shop's taking a lot of time because we're really trying to figure out what to do with it.
Okay.
Actually, we know what we're going to do with it, but it's now just getting it together and
Yeah.
getting our shit together.
Okay.
But otherwise, it's been. I told you, I think after all this, we keep talking about, well, you're 38 hours, and I'm not allowed to have the number. So my 38.5 hours per week, because that's not like Phil's 38, because apparently he wants it all to himself.
Kenny.
Anyway, so I'm seriously trying to figure out a better balance. That's where my mind's been at lately,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
I got a few people that I want to stay with and I really want to help, and I think it'd be kind of cool, right? But
Yeah.
I think it just needs to be a different base to work from, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
And take back some of those hours to
Yeah.
do other things, pursue other things. Like, I mean, I think Tazz to me is fascinating. I think just, again,
Yeah.
because she knows her shit, right?
Yeah.
I like talking to people who know,
Yeah.
like, who know what they're good at.
And she's taken a lot of time to like suss out, like she, even today, right, with us, she like, some pretty good, probing questions to try and fish for what we think she should be doing. Like, do you know what I mean? Like, just it's her like trying to suss out like what's going on and how we perceive her, right? Like, to me, that's someone who's really trying to figure out the next options and like gathering as much intel as she can, right? So I think that's really cool. Yeah. Awesome, man.
So that's kind of where I'm at. That's probably the same boat as you, just trying to figure out some stuff. All the stuff we've talked about, and even how this could fit into, you know what I mean? There's so many cool things out there. That's all this does. There's just so much cool shit out there that's not typical. Like today I told you I talked with Sherry this morning.
Yeah,
fantastic young woman, great call. This one, like, but so many people that are excited about doing stuff. Right. Yeah, and most of it's between the ears stuff, not peddling shit,
not doing stuff.
No, just fuck.
Yeah, I know.
Cool shit, man.
I know. I love it. Yeah, if you're listening and you're still with us at an hour and
we're getting too long apparently. We're getting too long.
You know what? Because we get good guests though, right? Like, that's the thing. Is like Tazz,
I know.
really
I
like
her.
Like Tazz, we could talk like easily for 2 hours, right? And at that point we'd be like, I think we have to break this into a second podcast, right? So there's a lot there.
I got friends saying the same thing. They like the guest because they said, you and Phil don't talk about much. Sometimes you guys don't talk even business. You guys just chat. I said, then get your own podcast. Get your own podcast. You don't like it?
Yeah, you don't like
it? Yeah, get your own. Do your own. See, I like them apples. But still listen to ours. But you do your own anyway.
I know. Man, I love it. Awesome.
Okay, my friend.
Okay.
You never know. We might chat before next week's podcast. Yeah. Like, I phoned you out of the blue today because I was getting excited about things. So.
Yeah. No. I actually started working on some of that stuff, and then I owe you some stuff for Jax as well. So.
Relax.
No. I'm relaxed about it. I'm actually just like
it's fun shit. It's noodling.
Yeah, and it's noodling, right? So it's kind of all brewing in the background.
It's all good, buddy. Yeah. Okay, awesome. My friend. Let's call it at an hour and 10.
You got it.
Has the boss complained about the length of podcasts lately?
No, not yet. Not yet.
As long as she's okay, that's fine.
We have a cool guest next week. So if you're still with us and we're not just talking to ourselves, we have a super cool guest next week. She's I love her, and I think Kenny loves her now too. And then the week after that, we have a reluctant guest, which I think will be a lot of fun as well. So
you got two good ones in a row. It'd be nice.
Yeah, it would be really good.
Sounds cool, buddy.
Yeah. All right.
Okay, my friend. Have a nice evening.
Buddy.
Chat soon.
Ciao. Bye.